It is Friday, July 18th, and we are back, baby, with another episode of The Bald Brad Show, where we cover all the major headlines that you need to know about heading into your weekend, heading into your workday, wherever it may be, maybe even heading into your next podcast, and at least you have a clue of what the hell's going on around here, and that's the important part. We're a reactionary commentary show, meaning we pull the articles and we read them together and we come to our conclusions in real time. We do not read these or see video ahead of time. It's good to see all of you on this bright morning, and hopefully you're having a lovely morning. Hopefully you slept well. If you weren't able to join us for Dark MAGA last night, it was open to everybody and it's still up. It was awesome. It was awesome. If you see me streaming for over 2 hours, you know it's a good time. Yeah, it was awesome watching Piers Morgan slap the crap out of Joy Reid for 45 minutes. And he caught her too. God, that line of questioning, he got her. I mean, it was masterful. I'm still reminiscing over it. Well, we got a lot of different news to cover today. And as I've always mentioned, when you watch this show, we usually keep you ahead of the news cycle, folks. I mean, in some cases, 4 years ahead of the news cycle. Worst case, 24 hours. We said that Donald Trump was going to be attacked for his health. And that's exactly what's happening. And we'll get there. But we have some big news. As you saw in the thumbnail, Trump sues the Wall Street Journal. That's what's breaking. Donald Trump's pissed. Trump threatens to sue Wall Street Journal over fake Epstein letter, orders Bondi to unseal testimony. This is Trump's had enough. Trump is getting pissed over this. Daddy ain't happy. President Donald Trump forcefully shot down a Wall Street Journal report on Thursday, excuse me, claiming that he wrote a birthday letter to Jeffrey Epstein that included a sketch of a naked woman, saying he'd sue the outlet for claiming otherwise. This is not me, Trump told the outlet. This is a fake thing. He followed up with a lengthy statement a few hours after its publication, stating that the paper's own Rupert Murdoch and editor-in-chief Emma Tucker were warned directly by Trump that the letter was a fake, and if they print it, they will be sued. President Trump will be suing the Wall Street Journal, News Corp, and Murdoch shortly, Trump said. So it says right here, the Wall Street Journal and Rupert Murdoch personally were warned directly by President Donald J. Trump that the supposed letter they printed by President Trump to Epstein was a fake, and they print it. They will be sued. Mr. Murdoch stated that he would take care of it, but obviously did not have the power to do so. The editor of the Wall Street Journal, Emma Tucker, was told directly by Caroline Leavitt and by the President Trump that the letter was a fake. But Emma Tucker didn't want to hear that. Instead, they are going with a false, malicious, and defamatory story anyway. President Trump will be suing the Wall Street Journal, News Corp, and Murdoch shortly. The press has to learn to be truthful and not rely on sources that probably don't even exist. President Trump has already beaten George Stephanopoulos, ABC, 60 Minutes, CBS, and others, and looks forward to suing and holding accountable the once great Wall Street Journal. It has truly turned out to be a disgusting and filthy rag. Disgusting and filthy rag. And writing defamatory lies like this shows their desperation to remain relevant. If there were any truth at all to the Epstein hoax as it pertains to President Trump, this information would have been revealed by Comey, Brennan, Crooked Hillary, and other radical left lunatics years ago. It certainly would not have sat in a file waiting for Trump to have won 3 elections. This is yet another example of fake news. There is a picture of it, I believe, and I'll show you just in one moment here, but he kind of took my thunder a little bit. Trump kind of took what I was going to say, because I was going to mention he has a track record of winning these lawsuits with these news outlets. And it's kind of a silly thing to pull forward now. It's like, why would you not have utilized this before the election or something like that? So we'll get to it in just one moment, I promise. The Wall Street Journal article claimed that it had obtained a letter bearing Trump's name. Just listen to how outlandish this is, first of all, okay? It's not what you just think it is. It's even crazier than that. So again, the Wall Street Journal article claimed that it had obtained a letter bearing Trump's name that was included in a birthday book created for Epstein. It claims that the letter was part of a leather-bound album and that Trump framed his letter within the outline of a naked woman, which appears to be hand-drawn with a heavy marker. Notably, the paper did not include an image of the letter it claimed to have reviewed. It says the letter was part of a trove of Department of Justice papers that have come to become known as the Jeffrey Epstein files. Neither the DOJ nor the FBI responded to its request for comment it disclosed. Trump has shut down furor surrounding the Epstein disclosures, which dated when the DOJ announced nearly 2 weeks. So where's the photo at? What the photo? Hold on. Is it here? Okay. Here we go. All right. So this is on Twitter. This was yesterday, and JD lost his crap. But here's what the Wall Street Journal is posting. It's not clear how the letter with Trump's signature was prepared. Inside the outline of the half-naked woman was a typewritten note styled, as an imaginary conversation between Trump and Epstein, written in third person. Doesn't this sound freaking weird? The whole thing. It doesn't sound legit. Voiceover. There must be more to life than having everything, the note began. Donald. Yes, there is, but I won't tell you what it is. Jeffrey. Nor will I, since I also know what it is. We have certain things in common, Jeffrey. Yes, we do. Come to think of it. Enigmas never age. Have you noticed that? Enigmas. Jeffrey. As a matter of fact, it was clear to me the last time I saw you. Trump. A pal is a wonderful thing. Happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret. What the fuck? What? This is the Wall Street Journal. Okay? Now, where's the photo? Allegedly, I think this is what they're talking about. I'm not sure. This is from 6 years ago. This was posted by Gavin Newsom. Or I guess I never wrote a picture in my life. I don't know if he's using this as like so this isn't this is not the picture. This is just a picture Donald Trump drew, I guess. I don't know. Role playing is natural to Brad. Yeah. Simmer down in the chat. Who doesn't love a little role play? You know what I mean? Who doesn't? Well, that's what I got for you, folks. I can't pull up the Wall Street Journal itself because you have to pay for it. I ain't paying for that crap. I'm not giving them my money or your money. You guys donate. Your money goes to me. The money goes back into the show. I ain't paying the Wall Street Journal for that. Hey, Daddy ain't doing that. But Gavin Newsom's in there. All I have to say to Gavin is, remember, Gavin, shit comes back, man. Why don't you worry about the state of California? So anyways, that's what's going on with the Wall Street Journal. Trump's going to sue the crap out of him, and I hope he wins. Let's see what people have to say. That's always the fun part. The alligators will still be hungry. Well, this keeps getting worse and worse. Big mistake there was Bondi saying the files would be released in their entirety. She then redacted saying there was nothing of importance. Initially, it looked as though the citizens could draw their own conclusions. Now it appears a decision was made to have the conclusions drawn for us. There's some truth to that. There is some truth to that. So that's what's going on with Donald Trump. And we have this clip here of Scott Jennings dumps cold water on Dem strategist for suggesting that Trump could permanently lose his base over the Epstein files. Here we go.
This was actually a letter that he, actually wrote or typed out or whatever it was with the weird picture, that he drew behind her and didn't draw behind it. The bottom line is that to me is somewhat irrelevant. This is someone who said infamously on camera that came out about 2 months before the 2016 election, I can grab women by the you-know-what, and he still won the election. So I think that kind of persona perhaps is baked in. I think the bigger issue here is that this has caused the MAGA base to kind of lose its mind. And the question is the MAGA base going to come back together, or is this a base that is fractured, that is significantly fractured? Have you lost your mind, Scott? Because people have been, your colleagues, the Charlie Kirks of this world, people you know very well, have been all over the place saying that they're very disappointed in Donald Trump.
Well, I should say that Charlie Kirk and Laura Loomer tonight have both said to other outlets that they don't necessarily believe that Trump wrote this or what have you. So they're starting to circle the wagons on this, which is what Scott suggested earlier.
The facts of Donald Trump's base are this, and we reported on this morning here on CNN. Since the Epstein business started, his job approval among Republicans has gone up. He's over 90% with Republicans. It's not hurting him with his base. I know you're a Democratic strategist, maybe not an expert on the MAGA base.
In his base
but look what's
very frustrating.
But look what's happening. He's gone up. Why? Because while we're all sitting here dealing with this nonsense, out in real America, he's signing legislation on fentanyl. He's talking about the AI future in Pennsylvania. He's securing the border. Big, beautiful bill. So his numbers are going up with Republicans. This is a fantasy that Democrats have been engaging in since January that Republicans would abandon.
No, Scott, do not.
Trump, it's not happening.
Try to put this on Democrats. This
Every
is something
night I
that's
sit
a
here and
MAGA
listen
base.
to a Democrat tell me Republicans don't support Trump, and they do.
This has been whether or not you want to call it a conspiracy, whether or not you want to call it something that the MAGA base has cared about. This has been something that has been deeply rooted in the MAGA base for a long time.
Yeah, we see here the depth of the
Scott. Scott's face. Oh, God. He just knows. There's that smirk. Yep, absolutely. He knows what he's doing. Single-handedly keeping CNN alive. Nobody watches CNN when Scott's not on. By the way, he has a radio morning show now. Shout out to him with Salem Media grabbed a hold of him, and good for him. Well-deserved, works hard. And I watched his first broadcast. You can tell he's a little nervous, as anybody would. When you care about your job, you get a little bit nervous. And he killed it. He absolutely nailed it. So happy for Scott over there with Salem Media. They're good people. That was the my publisher was, or is, I should say, the sister company of, and is under the umbrella of Salem Media. So good for Scott. Happy for him. That's awesome. Salem has always been good to me. The process for me was great in terms of my publishing. So he's with the good people over there. That's for sure. If you could support us by hitting that thumbs up button, if you're having a good time, what that does is it helps the algorithm send our videos out to new people who haven't seen our content or our channel. So your help would be greatly appreciated. Thank you, Pat. One of our moderators. Appreciate that. Shout out to all the moderators that are currently here right now. Appreciate you guys volunteering your time. You're always here, doing the Lord's work out here, helping me out. Smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Would greatly appreciate that. We're also on Rumble. We're on X. We're just kind of everywhere. Thank you to everybody. Here we go. Let's see what we got next here. To celebrate NPR losing federal funds, here are 7 of the worst stories. Now, we showed some examples yesterday when this news broke, but we got a little bit more here, and I am just as intrigued as you are, folks. I'm giddy. The Senate voted in the early hours of Thursday morning to end federal funding of NPR programs. What you're going to see is NPR is gone. I think PBS is gone. And then there's another outlet air quotes, a show that's going to be gone as well. Basically, what you're seeing is you're seeing the propaganda topple. You are seeing the grip that the Democrat Party and progressive left have had that is slowly changing. And it almost feels like things are going back to how they were like in the 90s, you guys. I don't know if you feel that way as well. I think the moment I start seeing things like this and Hollywood start to change even more, I've yet to see really Hollywood change, but I think we're going to. Once I see things going and reverting back to like that nostalgia feeling, you know what I mean? Once I start getting that, I'm going to start thinking, okay, I think we're heading back to what we used to be, which is kind of nice. I think a lot of people are tired of all this crap. The Senate voted again in the early hours to remove the federal funding of NPR programs deemed wasteful and ideological driven. Liberals say the move will reduce safety warnings for rural America. Okay. While conservatives point out that NPR has a history of pushing leftist narratives. Does anybody else think it's hilarious that liberals care at all about rural America? We care about your safety. Oh, sure you do. Sure you do. I thought all these people were racist, according to you guys. Yeah, I thought they were all like these redneck hicks. So that's what I was told by the liberals all the time. I live in the state of California. I have to hear about it all the time. I care about you guys. By the way, I care about liberals too. I just care about the fact that people are Americans. You want to know who I don't care about? People that aren't Americans. I wish you well, wish you the most success, but I care about my people. And my people are the American people. To celebrate ending its federal funding, here are some of the worst NPR articles from over the years. Oh, boy. Here we go. Hunter Biden's laptop is a pure distraction. Oh boy, they're starting off hard with this one, aren't they? When the New York Post broke the story about Hunter Biden's laptop in 2020, media outlets rushed to suppress the story. Oh boy, did they. Yes, they did. NPR decided not to cover it all at all, saying, we don't want to waste your time on stories that are not really stories. And we don't want to waste listeners and readers' time on stories that are just pure distractions. Turns out you were wrong big time, but don't worry. Remember the CEO yesterday said, oh, you can't find anything that would lead to bias. You'd have a tough time doing it. And then we scrolled down. It was just endless examples of bias. In analysis of the story, NPR said that the Post scoop was marked more by red flags than investigative rigor. In 2022, NPR quietly admitted that the Hunter Biden story might have been worth paying attention to after all. Oh, gotcha. The next one was consider the gay asylum seekers. One story NPR did find worth covering was a 2021 piece titled Trump's Years Were Terrifying for Gay Asylum Seekers. The piece explains the life of a gay man afraid of being deported during President Donald Trump's first term. Gay immigrants seem to be one of NPR's favorite topics. You could read about gay Muslims living in Russia. What? Gay refugees fleeing Ukraine, gay refugees from Uganda, or a Mexican shelter for gay immigrants coming to the United States. And that's not even half of NPR's gay immigrant coverage. The Trump administration is deporting illegal immigrants because they broke the law, not because of anyone's sexual orientation. Despite being obsessed with the subject, NPR has yet to find one immigrant who was deported for being gay. You know what? You see that kind of idea with the Joy Reid video that we saw yesterday, right, Patriots? Where they can't get past the identity politics of it all. She always started off with white man. Well, you're a white man that doesn't like brown people, right? It was never that, oh, you're an American citizen. Well, I don't know if is Piers Morgan an American citizen? I don't know if he is, but it's like, well, you're an American citizen that doesn't like illegal immigration is how it should have been. But they can never get past the race card. It always has to be about that. That's all it is. No, we're not live on TikTok anymore, folks, because they just keep suspending me for weeks, and I'd rather go in there every now and then and whip some ass debating these leftists every now and then. So no, they'll just flag me for misinformation when I'm not even going to bother. I wish I could. The next one is everything. Well, there's a segue. Everything is racist. There we go. In 2020, NPR ran an interview titled Oh boy. I think I actually remember this one. Fat phobia and its racist past and present. It's like 3 sentences for those on audio. I don't know if I can get through it. Hold on a second. Let me get my mustache out of my mouth. The interview went all the way back to the transatlantic slave trade to understand the racial origins of fat phobia. Ain't no fucking way. This is like Project was it 1916 or where the fuck it was. It was the 1619 project. Of course I know it is. The interviewee claimed, oh fuck, I can't do it. Like, I'm trying not to look at it because it's only going to make me laugh. The interviewee claimed, this is what I needed. This is what we wanted for a Friday. Claimed diet culture came from Europeans deciding to be slender to make them the premier race of the world. And added, there are so many problems with telling people to lose weight. Yes, Dave, you're probably the only one on kick, but that's okay. We need help over there. Oh, God, dude. For more NPR gems about racism, consider stories such as experiencing racism may physically change your brain. An article about how nice white people are still racist. Or a long article detailing next steps if you flunk a racism test. Oh, God. We'll just go over a few others and then we'll be done with this. I want to move on. Have you ever driven past a semi on the interstate and wondered if the driver was transgender or he or she or they? Might be NPR explained in an interview about diverse trucking. I mean, dude, does this not tell you it needs to be gone? What's bugging you? In 2013, NPR ran a story with the headline, "Maybe it's time to swap burgers for bugs," says the United Nations. 2017, NPR said a bug-eating festival, kids crunch down on the food of the future. 2018, the outlet mused, "Your ancestors probably ate insects, so what's bugging you?" Wow, just intellectual stuff, really stuff that people want to read. Transgender dinosaurs, and oh, well, this can't be real. This is probably real. Well, I mean, they're pulling it up, so of course it is real. Transgender dinosaurs. NPR once spent 10 minutes describing the battle between pro and anti-trans activists over the dinosaur emoji. To help explain the controversy, the outlet spoke to a trans-identifying science writer who uses she, they, it pronouns. LGBT activists love dinosaurs and use terms like Allosaurus and Transepratops. Jeez. NPR explained between updates about January 6th hearings. Jeez, oh my God. I'm glad it's gone. Where was it? We had something here. Damn it. I don't remember what I was going to show. I know I pulled them up for a reason. Oh, right here. There we go. This is what I wanted. Scott Jennings again.
Colbert will forever be.
For those that are on audio only, please just, I know you're at work. I need you to take the phone out of your pocket or just look at whatever device you're listening to me on. Please. It's going to be worth it. This dude looks like a Muppet. This looks like a guy that's the Muppet. I don't know the Muppet's name. Maybe we could put it in the chat. Some of you watched the Muppets. Like, you grew up on that. I did too, but not well enough to be able to name it. But you know what I'm talking about. This dude looks like a specific Muppet, and I don't know the name of it, but I need you to find it for me and let me know which one it is, because I got to pull up the photo now. Yeah, the guy looks weird. Absolutely. But it's CNN, of course. I mean, everybody looks a little weird on CNN. You guys know what I'm talking about. Find the Muppet's name for me while we play it. You got 41 seconds to figure it out, Patriots.
Known as the person who frittered away David Letterman's legacy, which is something. But may I bring everyone together? I think you're both right. I think your conversation about the television model is correct. I think your points about the conservative, anti-conservative bent is correct. But I would just submit this is not even the most important media story of the day. They're voting right now on the House floor to defund PBS and NPR. And to me, late night shows going away versus what the Republicans are finally doing after all these years, it might actually be a more important story than all the people who are in mourning over Stephen Colbert, which
That's exactly who I was thinking of. You came in clutch. I mean, it's a little bit. It's not perfect. But that's who I was thinking of. Yeah, Beaker. So how do we do this here? Hold on a second. There's somebody else too. A little bit like Beaker, but there's another one. There's another one out there. I don't know the name of it. If Beaker had glasses. All right. Well, that was that one.
Known as the person who...
We have fun here, don't we? If you're having fun, make sure you hit that like button. There was another thing I wanted to... oh, yeah, it was these. There we go. Okay, this is... Yaddy. All right. This is what happens when you do show prep at like 10:30 at night last night and you're like half asleep. Okay, so I want to show you these three clips. They're on the screen here. She kind of looks like my grandma, by the way. All right, Chip Roy here, fired up, citing our research to slam NPR's Texas affiliate. Here we go.
The truth is, it took NPR through Texas Public Radio 19 hours to post anything about the flooding on its social media pages after the floods hit in Texas. What was NPR and Texas Public Radio doing that morning? They weren't breaking to talk about what was happening in Texas. They were running ads saying people should call Congress to fund them. But the private stations in Texas were breaking to release reports and to tell people what to do, because that's what private stations can do, because they respond to the people, because they're locally owned, they're locally run, and they're not run by the bureaucrats from this town. The fact is, we're going to save money for the American people and end the absurdity of this leftist propaganda being put out under public radio. Yet never...
Chip Roy is right. I like Chip, by the way. He is a fiscal conservative. Chip is like me. I guess all fiscal conservatives are bald. And I'm laughing because of the Muppets you guys are choosing to put into the chat. And it is actually hilarious because I see what you're talking about when I look these Muppets up because I haven't remembered them in a while. And I have to see if there's one that looks even more like the person. But you guys have some good ones in there. I appreciate you guys doing some research for me and trying to find out as well. I think Beaker is probably the closest one, but I know there's another one. I just don't know the name. Roast NPR CEO for her insane tweets and hatred for white males. Here we go.
Of months of work from House Republicans to defund left-wing state-sponsored media outlets like NPR. And during that process, we got to bring in leadership from these outlets, like the CEO of NPR, Catherine Marr, to testify before the House Oversight Committee. I got to ask her about a lot of her past public statements. It turns out she has a prolific Twitter history. She's written extensively about every single major woke buzzword that you could think of, including, quote, the ravages of late-stage capitalism, structural privilege, her own cis-white mobility privilege. Mr. Speaker, most Americans, including myself, didn't know what that meant until reading this. The politics of representation and, of course, toxic masculinity. She also wrote about herself, about one of her major pet peeves, which is whenever she goes on an airplane and finds out that the demographics are, quote, usually greater than 80% male, usually white. Mr. Speaker, that is flagrantly racist. She's written about how, quote, I do wish Hillary, meaning Hillary Clinton, wouldn't use the language of boy and girl. It's erasing language for non-binary people. Mr. Speaker, this is the person running the outlet the other side of the aisle wants our tax dollars to subsidize.
He's not wrong. He is not wrong. Here's the last one.
Which mandates that all public broadcasting programs must demonstrate strict adherence to objectivity and balance in all programs. There's a myriad of statistical studies that prove that they are not. Perhaps most damning for NPR is the fact that it had to utilize a $1.9 million federal grant to, quote, improve objectivity and diverse viewpoints last year. And this despite the fact that NPR's CEO recently testified, as our colleague said, she didn't witness any bias at the organization. Then why the need for the federal grant, which mandates...
She's 82 years old. She was born in 1943, folks. She's a Republican, and she is sharper than Joe Biden. She was born in the Bronx. And she's sharper than Joe. Damn. Good for her. All right, here's what I was telling you about. We covered this a little bit during Dark Maggot yesterday and a little bit during the show as well. But there's a few things that I want to show you. Matter of fact, I'm going to have to go to my big screen here real quick so you can see my ugly mug. Start throwing faces at you guys. Let me get this up for you. 1 second. Hopefully I just didn't get rid of that article. Okay, here we go. All right, let me pause that. I found this video clip this morning, and I didn't watch it yet. I saw maybe the first 3 seconds. I'm like, oh, we could throw this on the show. This is exactly what I need. All right, here we go. Sorry about that. All right. I have it queued up, ready to go. So the White House reveals medical condition causing swelling in Trump's legs. This went viral yesterday. And what's crazy is that the left was completely disappointed because they wanted this condition to be terminal, which, to be fair, it actually can be. If it's not handled correctly and you sleep on it, not quite literally sleep on it. It's a phrase of if you kind of don't make it a deal for yourself to take care of it, it can kill you. The White House addressed speculation around President Donald Trump's swollen legs and bruised right hand on Thursday. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said Trump underwent medical testing and received a diagnosis of chronic venous insufficiency in his legs, but remains in good health. So we'll watch this clip here.
On another note, I know that many in the media have been speculating about bruising on the president's hand and also swelling in the president's legs. So in the effort of transparency, the president wanted me to share a note from his physician with all of you today. In recent weeks, President Trump noted mild swelling in his lower legs. In keeping with routine medical care and out of an abundance of caution, this concern was thoroughly evaluated by the White House medical unit. The president underwent a comprehensive examination, including diagnostic vascular studies. Bilateral lower extremity venous Doppler ultrasounds were performed and revealed chronic venous insufficiency, a benign and common condition, particularly in individuals over the age of 70. Importantly, there was no evidence of deep vein thrombosis or arterial disease. Laboratory testing included a complete blood count, comprehensive metabolic panel, coagulation profile, D-dimer, B-type natriuretic peptide, and cardiac biomarkers. All results were within normal limits. An echocardiogram was also performed and confirmed normal cardiac structure and function. No signs of heart failure, renal impairment, or systemic illness were identified. Additionally, recent photos of the president have shown minor bruising on the back of his hand. This is consistent with minor soft tissue irritation from frequent handshaking and the use of aspirin, which is taken as part of a standard cardiovascular prevention regimen. This is a well-known and benign side effect of aspirin therapy. And the president remains in excellent health, which I think all of you witness on a daily basis here. So the president wanted me to share that note with all of you.
By the way, I just want to say I called that. I said it looks like he either got blood drawn or something from the hand. I said no, normally you take it from the kind of the area here, but I said if you listen carefully, I said if you can't find a vein, well, you could take it technically out of the front part there. You could do it. Spent enough time in the hospital, unfortunately, with my dad. It's not something I'm bragging about, but I've seen this stuff enough. When you spend years going to the hospital every week or months on end at the hospital and you see how things function and work, one, you lose a lot of faith in the medical field because you see how many people actually suck at their jobs and how little shit they actually care. Can I just, if very rarely do I ever give you guys advice, like sometimes I'll give you guys like financial stuff that I do, whether that works for you or not, it's dependent on you. If you ever have a family member that's in the hospital, please be there 24/7. Sleep there, be there. These people, look, there's a lot of great nurses. There's a lot of great doctors. I hate to say it. A lot of these people, though, at the same time, were not that great at their job. And we were at some really good hospitals. There were some really great nurses that we had, and you wish that you can keep them. But remember, they're only on for 3 days. So you get them for 3 days, and then you're bummed out because they're like, man, this person's great. They really do their job well. And you can actually sleep. But then you get the next one for 3 days in a row, and they suck. They don't check up on you. They don't do what they're supposed to do. Sometimes they fuck up on their medication that they're about to give your loved one. They don't know what's going on. You have to be there, man. You really do. You got to watch these people like a hawk. So I know it sucks and it's not easy because you got to go to work. Remember, when my dad was going through this, not only was I doing my student teaching, which you're required to do full time, but I was also doing my master's program and trying to take care of him. So when he was in the hospital, I was literally in class on my laptop during the hospital. It's not easy. I'm not saying any of this is easy. But you got to be there, man. And I'll tell you what, I have no regrets. I was there for my dad. I have no regrets in life. I did everything I possibly could. I read all those studies I possibly could. I talked to the doctors I possibly could. I learned everything about how the heart functions, to the kidneys, to the liver. I did everything I could. And I still have terrible dreams about trying to keep my dad alive. I know this is a little bit TMI, but I still have nightmares of being in the hospital. I get this probably at least a couple times a month. I get nightmares of trying to figure out what I could do to save my dad's life. It's fucked up, but I still have those nightmares still to this day. Trying to figure out all the stuff, reading as much as I can. It's TMI, but you got to be there for your loved ones, man. You really, really, really do. Alrighty, so here's the clip that I want to show you from Dr. Drew that came up this morning. By the way, our Shane Gillis video yesterday got like 150,000 views on TikTok. Pretty crazy. So let me, did I not say, hold on a second. I got it. I feel like I have to give myself some credibility here. Did we not show you this a few days ago, folks? Did I not say this was going to be in the news? Did we not call it here, Patriots, all of us together? We did. Here we go.
President Trump and his venous insufficiency. Everyone's all, oh my God, venous insufficiency. All right. The bruise in the hand is from his aspirin therapy, which is, I'm glad he's on mini-dose aspirin. You should see my forearms. They look way worse. But when you get swelling in your legs, particularly if it's asymmetrical, you get a Doppler of the veins to see if there's a clot in them. And what they found in his case was that they were open. Then they did an echocardiogram to make sure that his heart.
The audio and video is not synced. That's them, not me. Just a heads up.
Heart wasn't failing and fluid wasn't backing up behind the heart and going down to the legs. Lo and behold, everything was clean. Everything was normal.
I'm going to go back because that's the point that I made to you guys yesterday.
As we age,
let me go back.
In your legs, particularly if it's asymmetrical, you get a Doppler of the veins to see if there's a clot in them. And what they found in his case was that they were open. Then they did an echocardiogram to make sure that his heart wasn't failing and fluid wasn't backing up behind the heart and going down to the legs. Lo and behold, everything was clean. Everything was normal. As we age, veins, Caleb, I may have to have you throw this up here. Look up venous deep vein valves. Veins have valves in them. People don't know that. Every few inches, there are these valves so that the full effect of a column of blood is not felt by the legs. But as we age and we live so long now, those valves start breaking apart and you end up with a solid column of blood in the deep venous system. And that produces tremendous pressure out around the feet. And so fluid exudes out into the soft tissue from that column of blood. And it's called venous insufficiency, leg edema, secondary to venous insufficiency. And the treatment is weight loss. Treatment is leg elevation, tight stockings, and leg elevation, and maybe walking. Walking can sometimes be helpful because the contraction of the calf muscles helps move the blood back up into the inferior vena cava. I would say 90% of my 80-year-old patients have it. There's a lot of things that happen when you age that people don't know about and don't think about. That's why I'm promoting things to help reduce some of the consequences.
Should we send Trump some of that NR?
Yeah, I know. It's too late. You got to take it for a while. You got to take it for a long time to have the full effects.
Everything. Now, I'm not the doctor, right? But the one thing, again, was the heart. For me, and I shared this with you guys yesterday. I wanted to make sure his heart was fine because, like you mentioned, I saw you guys writing, he needs to get off the Coke. He needs to get off the Diet Coke, the McDonald's, like all that stuff. You would expect him doing, he's been doing it his entire life, eating that stuff. You would expect his arteries to be clogged. Now, that's not for everybody, believe it or not. They're not exactly sure if this stuff is genetics or not, where you can eat clean your entire life and your arteries could still get clogged. So not exactly sure where they're at on this. But a lot of people are speculating, well, his heart has to be clogged, the arteries, or his heart's not, maybe it's congenital heart failure, because if you're swelling, usually that's the correlation between the two. Not all the time. And the reason why I say they need to watch this is because, remember how I mentioned, if you look up cellulitis, that's what it's called. It's swelling of the cells, it's swelling of the legs, and you can actually get an infection. If you don't do it right, they can cut off your damn legs. It's a very serious thing that they need to watch and make sure Trump is okay. And that could have been one of the reasons why we've seen some weight loss from Donald Trump, is maybe he is eating healthy again. Maybe he's not eating as much McDonald's. He's looking good, you guys, but it is a common thing amongst elderly people. And that's why we always need to be in prayer, not just for our community here, but for a lot of people that are going through whatever health issues they are, that they can recover or just make it through whatever they're making through. Now, you saw NPR is gone. And you're seeing PBS, I believe, is being defunded as well. Well, now we got CBS cans ultra-left Stephen Colbert Late Show, all just going away, baby. The propaganda machine is ending. It's all being crippled. CBS will pull the plug on late-night comedian Stephen Colbert's The Late Show next year in a purely financial decision. Because everyone's tired of the shit, Stephen. Nobody wants to stay up late and watch your propaganda bullshit, because it turns out half the country doesn't like it. Remember the old days when we used to watch late night and we used to just get really good jokes? And now these people start crying in the airwaves, him, Jimmy Kimmel, and all these other nut jobs. Oh, it's so bad. It's like, bro, I'm trying to go to bed and I'm trying to get away from this crap. Make me laugh and shut up. Colbert's late night comedy news show will air its final episode May of 2026. You still got to hold out for a little less than a year, unfortunately. According to a statement released by CBS, the announcement marked the end of an 11-year run Colbert had hosting The Late Show, which began in 1993 under former host David Letterman. Now, from my understanding, I think they're just doing away with the show altogether, like the whole Late Show. The network said that it's scrapping the Late Show franchise and will not move on to another host after Colbert, which tells me that people just are, I think there's still an appetite for this. I think they don't understand that people are just tired of the crap that they're peddling. The network said it's scrapping the show altogether. Quote, we consider Stephen Colbert irreplaceable and will retire the Late Show franchise at that time. We are proud that Stephen called CBS home. He and the broadcast will be remembered in the pantheon of greats that graced late night television. This is purely a financial decision against a challenging backdrop in late night. It's not related in any way to the show's performance, content, or other matters happening at Paramount. Sure. Also, people are moving away from cable television altogether. They're going to places like Netflix or the different maybe streaming services. But even then, the streaming services are getting crazy where people are just going to YouTube, Rumble, X. They're getting their news elsewhere, or they're getting their television elsewhere now. It's not all conglomerated now at CBS, ABC, NBC, these major outlets that were once powerhouses back in the day. I mean, media is definitely changing. And with the AI coming up, people are creating their own media now. People are going to be able to create their own full feature-length films. You'll be able to do it from the comfort of your home, and you can actually do that now in small little snippets, but you could do it. So Hollywood doesn't know how to handle this. And by the way, if Hollywood thinks they can get this under control of people making their own Indiana Jones films, Star Wars films, and all this other stuff, they got another thing coming to you, because I don't know how you stop it. Look at how much stuff goes on the internet. You're just going to sue everybody? I don't think you can. Again, a person is able to make fan films. That's what's going to happen. Oh, I'm just doing a fan film. Yeah, I won't make any money off of it. I just wanted to create it because that's what people like. And we get our own content. We don't have to rely on these nut jobs to constantly throw stuff down our throats. Imagine that. We here at the Bald Brad Show as a community could create our own television shows and have our kids watch it knowing that it's going to be safe. Like, oh yeah, I'm watching a Bald Brad cartoon that the viewers made. And I'm putting my kid watching and he's learning, kind of like how we all grew up. And I know my kid's not going to be trans. I know there's not going to be any crazy propaganda BS in there that I have to worry about. I can just let my kid sit in front and watch the TV or be an iPad kid. That's what we can move towards one day. So here's what was trending. You gotta love this one. James Wood said Colbert canceled. So anyways, yeah, but we can't. It's not Trump though. It just doesn't work, right? Because Trump's a Nazi. Yeah, you can't do this. Yeah. Oh well, no. Sorry, I misspoke. If you're a Democrat, you could do it, of course. Yeah. I mean, this is, Democrats love socialists, and the socialist was the Nazi party, but whatever. We gotta look the other way. So Stephen Colbert is out. Boy, we're really gonna miss this guy.
Scene.
Folks, again, I laugh at almost everything. It's just not funny. I want to laugh. Trust me. I don't care that he's a lefty Democrat. I don't know what the hell he is. It's just really low production value. Like, you dressed grown men into syringes and you're having them dance around. Jesus.
Late Night with Stephen Colbert, just days after Colbert took a swing at his own network for settling with Trump. Listen.
This kind of complicated financial settlement with a sitting government official has a technical name in legal circles. It's big fat bribe. This all comes as Paramount's owners are trying to get the Trump administration to approve the sale of our network to a new owner, Skydance. Some of the TV typers out there are blogging that once Skydance gets CBS, the new owner's desire to please Trump could put pressure on late-night host and frequent Trump critic Stephen Colbert.
The network claims it was a purely financial decision, and Colbert's last show will be next spring. CBS.
All right, there we go. We got that. So Colbert's out. Colbert's out. Thank God. The guy's, he used to be funny. Look, he can still be funny. It's just, again, the all the Trump talk is just, we do it here on the show, right? We do it in the morning, and then you probably go to your next podcast or whatever throughout the day, and you hear more about Trump stuff. And it's like, by the time it's the evening, you're like, all right, I kind of had enough. Like, I love the guy, but you kind of get tired. You know what I mean? And you're like, okay, I want to listen to something else. That's how I am, actually. As I hear stuff about the news, but when I'm doing show prep, like, I usually listen to somebody else, or I'm listening to something else that has nothing to do with politics. Like, once the show ends, you guys, I turn it off pretty much. I don't go into more politics. I'll do video games, I'll go read a book, or I'll do some research on something. I don't really dabble in the politics all that much outside the show, believe it or not. I like other things, you know what I mean? I like movies, I like that stuff. Well, here's somebody that doesn't like something, and that's Dana Bash. I'm not even going to read that. She edits Trump's Truth Social post because he insulted CNN. But remember, she's unbiased, though, isn't it? Her job is to report the news. Okay? She isn't. The president of the United States is saying something, and the American people, which is her job to report, have every right to know exactly word for word what he says. And she is choosing not to read it. But remember, she's not biased at all. No. This is just pure newsworthy, trustworthy. You to be able to just, I don't know where I was going with it, but we'll let it play.
Wrote, it's very important that all Republicans adhere to my rescissions bill and in particular defund the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, which is worse than, I'm not even going to read that. Any Republican that votes to allow this monstrosity to continue broadcasting will not have my endorsement.
I think one of the most interesting groups of people to watch in this are the rural Republicans in the Senate and the House, and on all of these issues, because so many of them are affecting rural communities, and public schools are the center of small towns in America. And my understanding from Democrats who cover rural areas is they don't think that they can exactly win rural America, but they say they're being heard in a way that they have never been before, and maybe they can lose less badly. And so I just think of tariffs, USAID, and SNAP, which the agriculture community funds or sells their product to, these are all putting stress on rural communities.
And rural communities rely on public broadcasting still.
That too.
And public education.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, such a good point. All right.
They rely on it, you guys. Yeah, they rely on it. They have to have it. If they don't have it, well, what are they going to do? So the president sparred with Bash. I should back up a little bit here. So the full post read, which you saw on your screen, and instead Bash pushed ahead with a narrative claiming that rural communities rely on public broadcasting still. Trump has often taken pot shots at any media outlet, which he is displeased, but CNN has a regular target of his for a number of years, which we know. The president sparred with Bash indirectly in April. And Bash in response said during a subsequent broadcast, I just want to say for the record, since we heard President Trump say in the Oval Office that CNN hates our country, CNN doesn't hate our country. That should go out without saying.
Say, for the record, since we heard President Trump say in the Oval Office that CNN hates our country, CNN does not hate our country. That should go without saying. I've been here for 32 years, and I
don't know if I believe that. I don't know. Let's go down here to the comments. I always love checking this out. I live in rural New Mexico, and I can assure you that no one here is dependent on NPR and PBS for emergency alerts. We actually have a local radio station who are required by the FCC to be part of an emergency alert system. There was a while that Congress was actually trying to remove your AM radio stations out of your cars. I don't know if you guys do that at all. There was a big push by Congress to move AM radio out of vehicles, which are utilized for emergency alert systems. I'm in a rural community in Massachusetts. I don't think we have NPR here. We do in Boston, but if you wanted NPR, you could literally download it via a cell phone or Wi-Fi on your phone or laptop. I can listen to WNYC, an NPR affiliate, if I wanted all day, and I'm not in New York City. They wrote books about white working class and flyover country, Yet it seems every one of these ladies are still completely disconnected. If rural America votes overwhelmingly Republican and NPR is ideologically left, who in rural America is listening to NPR? Yeah, exactly. People are too logical. The nice thing about sometimes going to the comment section is you get a little bit of like relief going, okay, like people aren't as stupid as we thought they were. I live 10 miles from nearest gas station and I still have cell service and without satellite internet, high-speed internet. Hillbilly game book from Mountain Dew is really good, by the way. We have electricity and indoor plumbing and Wi-Fi. We can even cast our phones to the TV box if one of them, they're smart ones. We don't keep an AM radio with batteries in the storm cellar. I reckon it might have FM too. Oh, we do keep it. Yep. Don't worry, they rely on it. You guys, you heard it from the horse's mouth. Rely on it. Yep. Some big updates here. The economy will boom under Trump's new energy dominance agenda, new report shows. Matter of fact, let's bring up the markets really quick. We haven't done this in a couple days, which usually we do. I know that they're up right now. Let's give you guys that. Bada bing, bada boom. Let's put that right there. So just this week alone, in the last 5 days, the S&P 500 is up 0.7%. For the month, it is up over 5%. And since he's been in office, it's up over 5%. Not bad. And it's only going to go up. So it's weird. It's weird how the conversation was, well, Donald Trump is ruining the economy. The markets are crashing. Is that not the quote that they shared for a long time? The markets are crashing. We're going into the Great Depression. We're going to go into a recession is what I heard constantly, endlessly. Matter of fact, me and Jeff were in a debate against people regarding the markets and how bad it was and the debt and all this other stuff. We're up 5%. It's weird how it's like the goalposts keep shifting, right? Before it was eggs, and then it moved into the economy, and then it worked into, well, he's not going to get the stuff passed for taxes. He's not going to do no tax on tips and all this other stuff. And then it's like, it just keeps moving because they don't know what to do because he keeps crushing it on everything in a positive manner. Anyways, President Trump's energy dominance agenda could raise the United States GDP up to 1.9% within the next decade, according to the new report. The White House Council of Economic Advisors released a report on the impact of Trump's energy policies and deregulation on Thursday. Experts estimated that additional energy production alongside deregulatory policies could bolster economic growth in the United States, growing GDP by at least 0.56 to 1.9% by 2035, which, by the way, speaking of Jeff is an accountant, and I believe that the company that he works for or audits or something like that has to do with copper. Don't quote me on this. I believe that he just did a trade agreement with Indonesia, and I believe copper was involved in that. So I don't know if that helps or not. I didn't read the article as a news headline. I'm being fair, but there's something there for you, Jeff, regarding the trade with Indonesia. I believe there's something to do with copper in that, these precious metals, and that's to move away. Again, we're trying to move away from our reliance on China, which is huge. Matter of fact, we might even pull up the article right after this since we're talking about energy and we're talking about trade in a moment. Unleashing energy abundance was key to the historic job, wage, economic, and investment growth that President Trump delivering during his first term. White House spokesman Kush Desai told the Daily Wire in a statement, energy abundance is again key for President Trump's second term to cement America's dominance in AI and restore our industrial base. AI, if you didn't know, is heavily reliant on power usage. And that's something a lot of these AI companies are trying to get Donald Trump to build themselves. And that's huge from the one big beautiful bill, was because it really allows these AI companies to basically, I don't want to say do whatever they want, but there's not much regulation in terms of restricting them on what they can do. But the problem is you need a ton of power to run these AI. So the more that you want AI to grow, well, that also has to grow in power usage as well. So we need this, not to mention we need this for our industrial sector or manufacturing. So we need energy, and also it's going to make things cheaper for all of you. And the administration is committed to pulling every stop to power the restoration of American greatness. The report identified a few key weak points in the United States' current energy production and distribution system, such as long delays for government approvals, aging infrastructure, and supply chains for critical minerals that run through unreliable and adversarial sources, meaning China. That's just talking about China. But the United States sits upon a wealth of natural resources that contributed to the country being the world's leading producer of petroleum, natural gas, and nuclear power. But they don't want to talk about that because you got these psychos out there protesting in the streets going, you're ruining our economy. You're ruining the plants. You're ruining the climate. All the while, China, India are like burning tires left and right, building coal plants everywhere. They won't go over there and protest because they know what's going to happen to them. Look, they're idiots, but not full-blown idiots. They know why they don't go over there. If they truly cared about climate change, if they truly cared about what's happening, you would go to the major polluters in the world. That's China, India, and the Middle East, you nut jobs. Why don't you go over there? But they know they won't. They won't go to the Middle East. Are you kidding me? These people that are also part of the LGBTQ agenda, these people would be beheaded in a moment. They'd be thrown off a freaking cliff. They'd be thrown off the top of a building in a second. Really? You know why they don't go to China? Because they'll be thrown in prison. They don't go to Russia or India or any of the other places because they'd be thrown in jail. Or something worse, you'll never see them again. It's not like here where you immigrate illegally and you get thrown in alligator Alcatraz with nice air conditioning and food and all this other stuff, bedding. No. You go to China or like North Korea or these other places, start pulling this shit. Well, you never hear from them again. Yeah, they'll go to some camp, these labor camps, but they don't know the difference between a death camp, concentration camp, labor camp. They don't know the difference between all these different camps that happened in World War II because their head's so far up their ass. Earlier this month, the Department of Energy estimated that blackouts across the United States could increase by 100 times in 2023. Or by 2023, if the U.S. continues to shutter reliable power sources and fails to add additional firm capacity. Correct. This is a big issue. We need to be on top of this. We need to lead in AI, you guys. We can't allow China to beat us. And by the way, they will if we don't do this. If you don't have the energy, you don't have the AI. It's that simple. It is that simple. You have to build. We cannot allow China to win this. The Trump administration wants to accelerate U.S. energy production in part because the country's budding AI industry uses massive amounts of electricity. There you go. I hand to God, I've not read the article, but I love to keep up on AI. There's this, let me see if I can find it for you. Are you guys okay with me? Is everything going okay? I just want to make sure you guys are having a good time here and everybody's happy with what they're getting right now and that you guys feel like you're getting value out of this. I really do. So let me know in the chat if everything's good. If you're like, yeah, let's move on. You're spending too much time on it. Always let me know. I won't take offense to anything. This is for you guys. I just love hanging out with you, but I'm just trying to bring in the news. There was this clip by Joe Rogan that talked about AI passing a specific type of test. And the type of test that it passed was basically we're not able to tell anymore if it has all of the features of what a human being has, emotion, the type of intelligence, all that stuff. People are saying we're all good, keep going. Heck yeah, having a good time. Okay. AI, it's not Tenet. Oh, boy, I think this is it. Hold on. It's one here. I'll just pull up so you guys can see what I could see. This might be it. Hold on. Let me hear this. We'll play this. We'll play it together. This might be it.
It's like, it seems so inevitable. And I feel like when people are saying that they can control it, I feel like I'm being gaslit. I don't believe them. I don't believe that they believe it because it just doesn't make sense. Like, how could you control it if it's already exhibited survival instincts? Like in as recently as ChatGPT 4, right? They were talking about putting it down for a new version, and it starts lying. It starts uploading itself to different servers. It's leaving messages for itself in the future.
All things were predicted decades in advance, but look at the state of the art. No one claims to have a safety mechanism in place which would scale to any level of intelligence. No one says they know how to do it. Usually what they say is, give us lots of money, lots of time, and I'll figure it out. Or I'll get AI to help me solve it. Or we'll figure it out, then we get to superintelligence. All insane answers. And if you ask regular people, they have a lot of common sense. They say, that's a bad idea. Let's not do that. But
it's not the clip, but it's a good one. I'm trying to find... And that's a tough thing. Joe Rogan talks about AI so much. I'm not complaining about it. But there was a test that it passed, and I wish I knew the name of it, of where he talked about it. If I find it later, I'll let you know. But if you're not keeping up with the AI, guys, you got to, really. I mean, I know there's a lot of older people in the crowd, and please don't feel like I'm beating you up. But this is something that you can't be sleeping on. Yeah, the Turing test. Thank you, Krager. God damn, we got a good community. Thank you. See, I knew this is. Thank you. When I said the tenant, I knew somebody would bring it out. Thank you. I always tell this to people. Just so you guys know, I do brag about you behind the scenes. You guys get it. Like, you guys know your shit, and that's what I love. Yeah, I don't see the clip that I was looking for. It doesn't matter, but yeah, it is the test, and let me actually get the information up here for you. The Turing test. The Turing test basically evaluates AI's ability to exhibit human-like intelligence. A machine passes the test if, in a text-based conversation, a human evaluator cannot reliably distinguish it from a human. And it passed that test. Yeah, Turing test, ChatGPT. Thank you. Yep. So, allegedly, I think it was last week or a week and a half ago, the AI did finally pass it. And that's some scary shit. I was talking to my wife because we went to the grocery store the other day, and this has a little bit to do with artificial intelligence. Do you guys remember that movie I, Robot with Will Smith? And I remember watching that, and it wasn't the robots themselves that I was like, oh, that's never going to happen. Believe it or not, the part that I thought would never happen was the self-driving cars. Remember in the movie where the self-driving car, it gets him in the accident because he has to drive it himself, and it's like, you cannot drive the car. You cannot drive the car. And he had to do it by himself because everything was ran by artificial intelligence and the car was driving itself. I was like, oh, that's never going to happen. That shit's crazy. Like, first of all, Audis would never look like that. Cars would never look like that. And you're not going to have self-driving cars. Now I'm like, man, with this artificial intelligence, everything synced up to the same AI. I could see that totally being a thing where you're no longer driving in 20, 30 years. I mean, folks, we're not that old as a country. And it's exponential. AI is an exponential function. We're going to see some crazy shit in our lifetime, man. And I'm stoked for it, but a little nervous at the same time. Because with the good comes the bad, right? I'm not going to waste my time with it, but you know what? If you want to go to the Daily Wire and go ahead and check out that energy dominance agenda that Trump's doing, this is not something we need to maybe get. We must start drilling. We must start building better infrastructure regarding energy. And by the way, none of this shit that's above ground where an EMP can explode above us, like the Chinese already know that will work against us. And by the way, a majority of the United States will be wiped out. You'll be dead in like weeks. We covered that here on the show. We actually showed you the proof. Something a lot of you asked about yesterday in the chat during Dark MAGA was the Genesis Act. So I want to at least talk about it very quickly. I don't think this really affects many of you guys. I don't think a lot of us are into crypto. I know some of us are, but let's just do this really fast so that you're at least up to date of what this act is, because it did pass. So the GOP-led House passed a trio of bills on Thursday that are poised to have a tremendous impact on the cryptocurrency space in the United States. Members voted 308 to 122 in favor of the, am I saying Genesis? It's Genius Act, a stable coin regulation bill that already passed through the Senate. The legislation now heads to the White House, where President Donald Trump is expected to sign it. House lawmakers approved the Digital Asset Market Clarity Act of 2025, and it aims to provide a system of regulation for digital commodity sales by the basically the SEC. So this is huge. This is big. The Web3 race is here, implementing clear regulations with clarity, and Genius will protect consumers and ensure U.S. leadership in digital assets. In addition, the Anti-CBDC Surveillance State Act, a measure that seeks to prohibit the Federal Reserve banks for issuing their own digital currency or using one to implement monetary policy, prevailed 219 to 210. This one I got to look up for you really quick. And I'll continue here, but I gotta answer one of my own questions in real time. That bill is set to be included in the National Defense Authorization Act as part of a deal with conservatives who held out a procedural vote that lasted a record-breaking 9 hours and 45 minutes. So my thought process with this in real time is that anti-CBDC Surveillance Act, a measure that seeks to prohibit Federal Reserve banks from issuing their own digital currency, is a way for I'm wondering the impact on the Federal Reserve issuing their own currency would basically diminish the currency of crypto, since they're basically altering the valuation of the crypto itself by injecting, or almost like printing money, basically, like you're printing digital currency, which is going to manipulate the currency for everybody else. So let me just confirm this really quick for you guys. I don't want to give you guys some bullshit answer. But this is also a question that I want answered, and we can get it really quick. So this law, this is a digital version of the US dollar that would be controlled by the Federal Reserve. And yeah, it's like, okay, so I was right. It's like digital cash, like digital $20 bill, but it's not like Bitcoin because it's controlled by the government, not decentralized. And if you were to use the CBDC for a monetary policy, the Federal Reserve controls things like interest rates, blah, 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 trying to keep prices stable or boost jobs. Okay, so make sure I get this for you guys. While it's doing this, attaching our anti-CBDC Surveillance Act to the NDAA will ensure unelected bureaucrats are never allowed to trade Americans' financial privacy for a CCP-style surveillance tool, which is huge. Majority Whip Tom Emmer said this. So the act itself is a bill that stops the Federal Reserve from creating a digital dollar or using one to control the economy. Okay, so I was right. All right, that's all I needed to know. There we go. Sometimes my head is on straight in the morning. Sometimes it is. So that's a big win for us. And that will be probably getting signed today. I'm sure they'll do some sort of signing ceremony right now, probably for all I know, since it's still past 10 o'clock and Trump's always working. I'm pretty sure braggadocious about you too, Brad. So just so you know, I appreciate it. Thank you guys. Always spread the show if you can. I mean, we're, it's me and you guys. That's really it. Which is no problem with that. I love having a community, but I need your guys' help to be honest. I need your help. I need your help to get the show out there. What else do we have here in the news? Justice Department probing another university over racially biased hiring goals. It's just these left and the Democrats. I have race fatigue, man. I really do. As somebody that doesn't care, I know you guys, you know this already. Trust me. I'm very self-aware that I say this all the time, but the left will clip me at some point. Oh, the guys are racist. Right? I get called racist all the time. The guys are racist. The guys are white supremacists. All this stuff. When I'm not, I literally don't care about race, which is why it's so tiring. It's so tiring to me. The Department of Justice opened an investigation into George Mason University on Thursday over employment practices that may discriminate against white people and men. Shocker. Shocker. In a letter to the university, Assistant Attorney General of the Justice Department Civil Rights Division stated that the investigation would focus on whether the university had violated Title VII of the Civil Rights Act, which addresses employment discrimination. It is unlawful and un-American to deny equal access to employment opportunities on the basis of race and sex. No. It's completely lawful when you do it against white people. See, white people can't be racist and you can't discriminate against white people according to a lot of people on the left. By the way, most recent comment I just had this week, somebody said that of like white people, you can't discriminate and be racist against white people because white people have the power, which is not the definition of racism, by the way. You injecting power into it is not the definition of racism. When employers screen out qualified candidates from the hiring process, they not only erode trust in our public institutions, they violate the law, and the Justice Department will investigate accordingly. The investigation stems from statements and policies made by the university's president, which indicate that race and sex are a motivating factor in faculty hiring and other employment decisions to achieve diversity goals. Multiple emails and internal documents suggest preferential treatment of certain races and sexes in hiring and other employment practices, including promotion and tenure of faculty members. So it's crazy, but Democrats have always been about race, and Democrats have always been about oppressing a certain ethnicity or group. And by the way, they're still doing it in a metaphorical way and also in a physical way. Metaphorically, they're still oppressing the minorities, people of color, with their agendas and their policies. And then in a physical way, they're also oppressing white people and people of different skin color and genders because of hiring practices. It's actually unbelievable what they're doing. The whole party is surrounded by race. And as I mentioned, if you don't care about race, if you don't care about identity politics, and you don't like socialism, communism, I don't know what the Democrat Party's offering you. I know what the Independent Party's offering you, but I don't know what the Democrat Party's offering you. It's a little crazy. Here's an update. This was a big update that we saw during Dark MAGA slightly, was that Netanyahu was going to release a statement after the IDF, mistakenly, according to them, hit a Catholic church. So, by the way, Catholics aren't really like up in arms over this. I really haven't seen much in terms of the way of the outrage from the Catholics like you get from these, Muslims or people of faith in the community when like a synagogue or, a temple's hit. Like, oh, look, he's targeting religious people now. It's like, I understand that mistakes are made in war. It's a terrible mistake, by the way. And it's a mistake that shouldn't happen, but mistakes will happen when you're going up against somebody. It's not a good thing. But people understand shit happens, unfortunately. And I'm not happy about it, but I'm also like, okay, like you understand here. So he said here, Israel deeply regrets a stray ammunition hit Gaza's Holy Family Church. Every innocent life lost is a tragedy. We share the grief of the families and the faithful. We are grateful that Pope Leo for his words of comfort. Israel is investigating the incident and remains committed to protecting Holy Family Church. On Thursday morning, one of the injured is in critical condition, civilians and holy sites. Israel expresses deep sorrow over the damage to the Holy Family Church in Gaza City and over any civilian casualty. The IDF is examining this incident, the circumstances of which are still unclear, and the results of the investigation will be punished transparently. Israel never targets churches or religious sites and regrets any harm to a religious site or to uninvolved civilians. So they came out and said, yeah, look, we screwed up. We messed up. It's a big mistake, by the way. But I mean, what more do you want from them? They say, hey, look, we're going after the people that did this or screwed up. They'll probably be let go because I think they deleted like 3 people or something like that. Yeah, there you go. Morning after 3 people were deleted. It's not a good thing. But it's funny because what I have found, and I've shared this with you guys before, whenever I just talk about the news, I never said anything about Israel in the sense of me supporting them or not supporting them. I said it was messed up. But what I have found is, whenever I do an article on TikTok about Israel and I just report literally, like all I do is I take snippets of what articles say and I say it myself. You're a Zionist. You're automatically in support of Israel. So I can cover this. You should go. Maybe I will later today, just so you could see that, oh, you're a Zionist, you're a propagandist, you're for these people. It's like, I didn't even say anything. I literally just reported what happened. And these people are out of their mind. They're deranged. They'll just start targeting you, Zionist, right? You propagandist pig. You're a liar. It's like, okay, people are crazy. What I'm finding doing this, and I've shared this, people are really unwell, man. I mean, the mental epidemic that we have is fucking insane globally. People are psycho, man. Nuts, dude. That's why it's a breath of fresh air to come and hang out with you fine folks, because at least your head's on straight. Some of you, majority of you, some of you, you got some issues. Some of you say some shit. I'm like, all right, well, you're part of our crew, but you're the crazy person in our crew. You know what I mean? You know who the fuck you are. I love you. We all have it. We all have that friend that's like, all right, bro, like if I could simmer down. All right, shit, we're trying to have a good time here. You know what I mean? And they're like, okay, yeah, okay, calm down. Like they know they're crazy, but we love them. Yeah, we got a few of you in here. I love you guys, though. I love you. Just don't do anything stupid. All right? Don't do something stupid. All right. Trump considering mega deal. We're almost done. To exchange drones, weapons with Zelensky. Speaking of the Muppets, like, oh boy, he looks like a small person, a little midget guy. Look at him. Boo, 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 boo. He's so cute. Little guy. All right, sorry. I'll move it on. We're having fun. President Donald Trump and Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky are on the cusp of striking a mega deal that would send battle-tested Ukrainian drones to the United States in exchange for Kiev receiving another batch of weapons from Washington. There's this weird, I don't know if I fully believe it, and if it is true, it's not a good thing for us in our defense. Allegedly, other countries, their drone technology is far more advanced than ours. I have a tough time believing it. I really do. Zelensky revealed the potential deal in a discussion with the Post, saying, the people of America need this drone technology, and you need to have it in your arsenal. So, a country like Ukraine is developing drone technology that's so advanced that we like bend over backwards because we just must have it, that you have some sort of tech that we don't. Does anybody else, am I the only one that thinks that's seems a little bit like bullshit? But he's not by the way, he's not the only one that said this. I've heard this from a lot of people. So please don't think like, oh, well, it's Zelensky just talking here. I've heard this from numerous people. I've heard it from Trump. Like what the fuck? Like, there's a question that you should be asking inside the White House press briefing or inside the Pentagon during their press briefings going, why is it that a country like Ukraine is able to utilize and have drone technology that we don't? How does that make sense? Why are we relying on somebody else to have a tech that we don't? If a deal is struck, Ukraine also promised to share information with the United States on what it has learned about modern warfare during the conflict with Russia. I mean, are we really going to bullshit here and act like we don't know what's going on? I've always been like this. I hear these guys in the defense say some shit, and I'm like, do we really not know that? Has Hollywood messed me up so bad where I'm like, are we not capable of doing that? Is that not a thing right now? Like, we're not able to watch this warfare from space and see what's going on? I have a tough time believing it, guys. I'm sorry. I really do. I really do. You tell me this dude has the tech and we don't? I don't know. Maybe. I'm always open-minded with it, but I'm not so sure. So now that Texas wants to do redistricting to gain some House seats, it looks like Gavin Newsom is back in the mix, looking like fucking Joe Biden over here. This guy's evil scum, little shithead. I will always talk shit about this guy, just so you know. And you know that I rarely say terrible things about people. He's a person that I will. The guy sucks. Shithead, head up his ass, scumbag, snake, liar, evil, all that. I have no qualm saying that about Gavin Newsom, and I don't throw that around about a lot of people. This guy is like an Adam Schiff on steroids. He is a terrible, terrible person. He is terrible. This is the guy that locked everything up. This is the guy that wouldn't let you go see your grandmother as she's passing the hospital, had to die by herself. This is a guy that goes to the French Laundry with his elite buddies while you had to fucking stay at home. This guy locked down schools, masked up children, fucked them up for years because they couldn't speak coherently anymore because their jaws were closed for so many hours throughout the day. They don't know how to communicate well. Yeah, this guy that can't even tell you straight to your face that he can't even give you the answer that if an 8-year-old should be able to transition or not. This guy can't even answer the basics of basics questions. Yeah, he's evil. This guy's a scumbag. This guy's disgusting. I'll tell it straight to his face. I don't give a flying fuck. California Democrats have plans to redraw the state's districts, potentially threatening the slim Republican majority in the House of Representatives. According to California Democrats, so this affects you guys, by the way, because it affects the House. Their move was prompted by news that Texas might try to redraw its districts to gain more congressional seats. Texas Republican Governor Greg Abbott has directed the state legislature to discuss redistricting in the upcoming special legislative session. California Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom said of Texas, they're playing by a different set of rules. Well, on Wednesday, the California Democratic congressional delegation met with House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries and reportedly discussed ideas for gaining even more seats to overturn the slim majority Republicans hold in the House. The games they play aren't working, and the more people get educated on what's going on, the more they are going to fight back, California Assembly member said of Riverside, who left the Democratic Party and became a Republican. So, well, we have that taking place. There is a redistricting map that was posted yesterday. Redistricting. I want to see if I can find that for you guys. I guess it's not there. I thought I had that. Let me see if I reposted it by any chance. I'll go to my page here. Follow me on X if you're not already. I didn't. Oh, well. Oh, well. I think we'll end it there. I think we're good. The last article I don't even want to cover. It's kind of boring. But as we always do, let's see if there's any trending news here really quick. Trump seeks release of Epstein. Oh, yeah, this happened yesterday. So President Donald Trump directed Attorney General Pam Bondi to seek the release of Jeffrey Epstein's grand jury transcripts. This directive comes amidst political pressure regarding the handling of Epstein-related documents. While some posts speculate on the motives or authenticity of Trump's actions, no evidence has been presented to support these claims. The Wall Street Journal also reported on a controversial letter, which we did cover at the beginning of today's show. So Pam Bondi got this yesterday, late last night. It's probably around 7 o'clock my time, 6, 7 o'clock. So it's probably similar for you guys around 10 o'clock. Some of you were sleeping. But Pam Bondi said she's going to do it. We'll see if that actually happens or not. You know, I'll believe it when I see it. Nothing really else there in terms of breaking. Let's see if there's any breaking news really quick other than that. I wish Gavin Newsom. Wow. Okay, Dave. Dave, I don't wish that upon anybody, to be fair, brother. I mean, you're entitled to your own opinion. But like I said, there's always people that say crazy shit. Dave, you're one of the crazy ones. And I hope you don't mean it, because I don't wish any ill will upon anybody. I don't like Gavin, as you could tell. I really don't like that guy. But I don't wish any ill will upon anybody. I don't. Unless you're a terrorist or like a terrible, just a really like actual like terrible person that's deleting people. Yeah, I can care less what happens to you. Excuse me. That's looks like that's it. That's all the news as of right now. If I'm missing something, I apologize. I mean, there's obviously news about illegal immigration, all that other stuff, but it's all the same stuff you keep seeing. Nothing really different here. It is a Saturday, so let's go to the chat just for a wee moment here. Krager says, sort of sad when you think about it. Oh, and Zelensky is a maggot. That's my opinion. Honestly, in the end, judges will say no if it's too much gerrymandering. 100% Robin, gerrymandering. Oh, by the way, I should let's do this. Let's do and then we'll go and we'll get the chat up for a little bit. There we go. We do have a chat. There we go. So I'll keep this up while we're going to the chat a little bit. He's a high heel wearing permanent butt plug. Oops. Jeez, Robin. Guys. Dave is still going. Dave. God, dude. Karen says, please make sure you thumbs up, stay clicked. My did not stay clicked. Oh, wow. Okay. So Karen saying, make sure your thumb, like refresh the page and make sure your thumbs up option is still clicked because it's unclicked. That's interesting. It doesn't surprise me though. Appreciate everybody thumbs it up. It does help, guys. I appreciate all your help and support. I really do. God bless you guys. Let's see. Bet says, I hate autocorrect. Our best drones look like airplanes that are hard to see. Well, did you guys hear? This goes into like a little bit of oh, by the way, Jason Hawes messages us again. So if you don't know who Jason Hawes is a investigator from Ghost Hunters. So let me see if I can pull up his stuff really quick. Jason Hawes messaged us again on my other channel for Spooky Adventures, who is Ghost Hunters. I don't know if you guys know who you guys know who Jason Hawes is, right? This guy from Ghost Hunters. So he messaged us again, which was kind of cool to see. He's checking out Spooky Adventures, which is dope. And yeah, just want to share. That's always kind of fun. But I don't even know where I was going with that. I was going somewhere with it. Doesn't matter. Let's see what we also. I love this chat. Me too. Absolutely. I wish I could spend more time in the chat, but we got to run a show here. I took today off, Brad. You scared me. What do you mean I scared you? What happened? Tell me. You took the day. What did I scare you about? Hold on a second. Wait, yeah, it's Friday. Wait, is it Friday? What day is it? What day did I say it was? Am I all over the place? Oh, did I say it was Saturday? Holy shit. I don't remember saying that. That's crazy. Thank you for the $5, Miss Mom. Have a great day to all. Thanks, Brad. Hey, thank you for the one. Thank you for the $5. Two, you have a great day as well, and also have a blessed weekend. YouTube quit showing your show to me, so I forgot about it. I appreciate the honesty, but that sucks that you forgot about me. Like, what the fuck, Sam? Sam, I can never forget about you, baby. Even if you ain't here, I'm thinking about you, girl. That's a little hurtful, but I understand. I appreciate it. Shit. Yeah, YouTube. We were talking about this yesterday. Remember how I was trying to pull up an old video of mine and I couldn't even find it? It was the Trump assassination video, which, by the way, has thousands of views. I could not find it anywhere. Under Bald Brad, if you search Bald Brad Trump assassination, it doesn't come up. I can't even find my own shit. But yeah, YouTube's ran by a bunch of I will say it. They are full blown commies, man. It's like George Orwell 1984. And nobody will change my opinion about it. They full blown do censor conservative media. Fully. They push what they want to push and they censor what they want to censor. And that's why we don't run ads anymore. And that's why we rely on you guys for, like what Miss Mom did. That's why we rely on you guys for donations. There's no, as you notice, there's no ad. If you're getting ads on these videos, you need to let me know because I'm not running ads on the live. I run ads after. So when the show's done, probably in about like 30 minutes, I go back in and then I turn on monetization because everybody usually watches during the live. I don't get too many views after the live happens on YouTube. On Rumble, I do, but on YouTube, I don't get too many views after the live. So I just turn it back on. But other than that, you guys should not be getting any ads while you're watching over at YouTube. Rumble, I don't have any control over that. You shouldn't be getting ads though. YouTube is run by, yes, Dave is on a freaking roll here right now, and that's why he's over at Rumble. See, Dave isn't fully insane because he's saying it over on Rumble because he knows damn well YouTube would ban his ass really quickly. No ads on the live. Okay, good. And that's what I want. I don't want you guys to have ads. And shout out to everybody that's a member. The members are the ones that are getting us by with no ads, by the way. So I appreciate you guys. And we've had a lot of donations this week. I really appreciate you guys coming in hot and helping out with the show. All right. Well, with that being said, we'll definitely be back here Monday. Over the weekend, I'm not so sure. Probably. I definitely want to do another Spooky Adventures video. What that will look like, I'm not sure. I'm thinking about doing something. I don't know. I need your guys' actual opinion on this because I don't know if this is disrespectful or not. So actually, let me go to full screen here. Jesus, Brad, fuck. God, you need to get better sleep. Okay. Okay, so I've shared before that I used to go to Forest Lawn Cemetery every Sunday for majority of my childhood. Every Sunday with my mom and my grandma. And we were there so often that we knew the workers there. Like my mom still knows a lot of people that work at Forest Lawn, like personally. So as a kid, I got to know a lot of the ghost stories that happened at Forest Lawn, like the locations where it happened at, what took place. I want to do a video where I go to Forest Lawn and I tell you the ghost stories of where they've happened. These ghost stories you will not, some of them you'll be able to find on the internet. The ones that I'm going to tell you about, there's about 3 of them. These are personal stories from staff that fucking work at Forest Lawn that's seen some shit. I'm talking seen full body apparitions, like people standing there and then disappearing right in front of them. Now, the problem is, one of the areas is I don't know how to film it and I don't want to be disrespectful. Like I can get access to it. It's open. I just don't know how to navigate that. And I'm thinking about going, but I don't know. I got to think about, I don't know. I'm stuttering because I don't know how to describe it because I don't want to give it away. But I'm thinking about doing that. Maybe this weekend is going up there and telling you some of the stories. And I also don't want to get them in trouble either. But I don't know. I mean, these stories came to me like how old am I? 36. So 20 years, more than 20 years ago. So I don't know. We'll see. But would it be disrespectful? I mean, is it disrespectful to film at a cemetery? I don't know. People do it. So, talk to the groundskeeper, ask the owner. Well, it's Forest Lawn, so I mean, it's a big company. But anyways, okay. Well, I don't know. We'll see. It's something I thought about. We'll see if I do it or not. I always say I'm gonna think about doing something. I never do. Anywho, alrighty. Well, have a blessed weekend, you guys. Be on the lookout for spooky adventures. And pray for our community. There's a lot of people that are in sickness, and we want to pray for their health. And pray for Donald Trump. Pray for this country. Pray for world peace. And they're gone. They don't mind. Yeah. Alrighty. Well, I'll see you guys later. Take care of yourselves. See you this weekend or Monday. Appreciate you. God bless.